So how will these anti-trade forces and rising protectionism affect future employment rates here in the US? Well, to go over all this, I'm joined by Tara Sinclair, Chief Economist at job site Indeed. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Tara, as we take a look at this jobs report, unemployment falling to 4.6%, what does this say about the overall health of the job market in the US?
What's interesting is that this is the lowest unemployment rate that we've had in the last 9 years. So on that front, this is really good news, and it suggests that the labor market is healthier than it's been in a long time. But 4.6% today does not mean the same thing as 4.6% back in 2007, because we're still seeing less labor force participation, even among prime-age workers.
Now, speaking of that, what's causing that? We saw that around 450,000 people not participating in the labor force. Why are we seeing that?
Well, there's a range of different possibilities. Some of these people are discouraged, and they feel like the labor market and the jobs that are on offer today aren't good fits for them and for their needs. Others are going back to school and getting education and training that will hopefully make them prepared for the jobs of the future. But there's another group of people that we're really worried about that, based on time use surveys, are spending their time sitting on their couches, not really sure how to participate in society today.
So between the people who are dropping out and the people who are perhaps not sure what to do, we saw that Donald Trump ran on this platform of putting America first, especially when it comes to jobs and trade. So what are your thoughts on this carrier deal in Indiana, where he's saying he wants to keep these jobs here instead of Mexico, but now it's really seeing a lot of scrutiny?
Right. Well, on the one front, I mean, for these individual people, this is good news, and I think we need to keep that in mind. But when we think about the broader macroeconomic context, this sets up a potentially very bad precedent. And we do wonder if he's going to be able to go from company to company and ask them to keep the jobs here. And if we keep focusing on the jobs of the past, these manufacturing jobs that we have seen a long-term decline in, are we preparing our workforce for those jobs that are coming in the future, like healthcare and more STEM jobs?
So as we look ahead to some of these jobs of the future, as you're mentioning, so then what does this deal with carriers say about the future of globalization and trade deals, as it's something that countries are all still having to adapt to?
Right. Well, and on the one hand, and trade is a big part of what's going on in terms of the changing labor force. And companies want to find the cheapest workforce. So that's obvious for them to make their profits. But they're also looking at other ways of improving their productivity, like robots and automation and improving their management processes. And all of these things actually bring more and higher pay to the workers that are continuing on. And so if we want to keep both the jobs and have higher pay, we might need to think about preparing for those new types of jobs.
So then with this potential precedent that Trump is setting with this carrier deal, what does that mean going forward? What sort of dangers could we be looking at?
Well, I really think that one of the big concerns is sending the signal that manufacturing is coming back in a big way. Because based on the long-term trends, it's not. And there are other jobs. It's not saying that there are no jobs for the future. There are lots of other jobs, but those take different preparation and skills. And I'd like to see us invest in that and prepare our workforce for those sorts of jobs so that we are better prepared.
Now, we always tend to hear that it's Mexico or it's China when we hear about shipping these jobs overseas, but the landscape is changing in China too. We saw that China's Huajian, a company that manufactures actually a line of Ivanka Trump shoes, is actually shifting their labor force, some of it to Ethiopia, just because the cost is so much cheaper there. So where else is this happening?
Well, it's happening all over the world, and this is really something to keep in mind, is we can't target one particular country and say that they're stealing all of the US jobs, because it's not just that the US is not the lowest cost producer. In certain cases now, China isn't the lowest cost producer anymore.
So in terms of that, as we look ahead, what can companies and perhaps even job seekers do to really put themselves in a better position as we head towards globalization?
Well, I do think that one of the key things is really to look at what those longer-term job opportunities are. And this is true for employers when they're thinking about how to invest in their workers and make them more productive, as well as for people who are thinking about changing jobs or investing more in themselves. And I think on both of those fronts, it really is developing those STEM skills, so mathematics, computer science, and really being able to build that up, even in workers who don't have a college degree.
Well, certainly some good advice. Hopefully people heed it. Thank you very much, Tara Sinclair, Chief Economist at job site Indeed.